This is part 2 of my first video. um, so the Boer War was basically a conflict between the British and the colonies of Great Britain in the early 1900s that started, well, in 1899, lasted till, I believe, 1903. Now this war was between, like I said, Britain and the colonies, uh, and the Zulu natives that occupied South Africa, and the Dutch that were also there, hence the name Boer. Once we won that, we began to further um, colonize Africa, such as Ethiopia. Uh, Britain, I wouldn't say invaded, but occupied Ethiopia and shifted its farming to cotton. Now, with all these fibers and what have you coming out, which make new clothing, it's a lot easier and a lot cheaper. Britain just left Ethiopia, and Ethiopia was left with nothing but cotton fields. That was it. The country turned to shit. Just like most other countries with any British affiliation or any colonialist affiliation with France or the Germans, it's Italy, like anybody. This is why Africa is the way it is today. At least that's one of my theories. Again, though, with Kony, um, he he's been he's been at what he's been doing for so long, just like so many other warlords, and people are just, it's like all of a sudden they care. Why do you all of a sudden care? Why didn't you care before? Why didn't you take the time out of your day to find out if there's something like this going on that you could help with? Why is it all of a sudden all these people care? Multitudes of people, just all of a sudden. Oh God, the media, CNN, this and that, say, we should care about Kony. Facebook tells me I should care about Kony. I don't even know what Kony is. I can't even point out Uganda on a map of the African continent, for Christ's sake. If I showed you a picture of the blank African continent, guaranteed two-thirds of you could not even point it out successfully and accurately. It's just the way it is. And why? Because you're naive and you're ignorant to things until they're presented to you as a problem. People that really care look into these things. People that really care already know about these things, or have heard about these things, or have gone out of their way to help these things before the media or some jack-off says that they should. It frustrates the shit out of me that all these kids I know are all like, oh, you're not a good person because you don't care about Kony, this and that. Of course I don't give a shit about Kony. What makes me a bad person? I have good morals. I want to join the armed forces when I'm older. I want to help people. I'm involved in my community vastly. It's just, I don't care about this. It's it's my political view, and I have the right to this political view. Why? Because we live in an organized society. But you people, you don't seem to get it. You think because a bunch of teenagers and young adults in North America and Europe say, well, this Kony guy's not a good guy, and he's a he's a bad man, he's a warlord, he's this and that, a murderer, it's gonna change anything. It's it's not. It doesn't work like that. It's fucking terrible that it doesn't work like that. I want peace to exist, obviously. Who wants war? You gotta be a fucking sadist or a psychopath to want it. I don't resent it. It has to happen. It's always going to happen. That's just facts. That's man. We're 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 fucking stupid. Like, because this guy's a Muslim and that guy's Christian, all of a sudden, oh God, we got a big conflict going on because you don't call God by the same name, or you've got that pretty fucking gold medal that we really want. Oh well, you can't have it. Oh well, we're gonna take it by force. we're fucking stupid. Like, I don't know. You people that can't exactly think for yourself, that need to follow what the media says or what your friends say about certain things. It's it's sad. It's pathetic. I mean, you're an individual. Why do you think you're an individual? Because you need to think for your fucking self. You don't need to think because, like, oh, my friend John thinks this is bad, that I should think this is bad. No, it's, oh, my friend John thinks this is good, but I'm gonna look into it and see if it's good or bad. Like, that's like not doing anything about Nazis. And your friend's like, oh yeah, I love Nazis. Nazis are just, they're the bomb. And you're like, oh yeah, for sure, I love Nazis. And then you go tell somebody why you love Nazis, and you got no valid points to back it up with. It's just fucking stupid. Like, I don't know, just ridiculous. I'm afraid for my generation and the coming generations, if people can't actually think for themselves, need to rely on the internet and media sources to just completely think, really. Like, it's unbelievable how many people base fact off of what they hear on, like, CNN or Fox. God, if you think anything on Fox is realistic. Anyway, um, you're fucking, we're fucked. That's all I can say. This this dick that's calling for putting a stop to Kony, ending his butchery and his military dictatorship. You're just fighting a losing battle, or a lost battle, I should say. That's like, no, it's pointless. That's like one of the dumbest things ever. One of the dumbest things I've ever heard of. The fact is that Africa is screwed. Like, look, we got amounts of poverty, unparalleled amounts of poverty. We have fucking disease, like mad disease. We got AIDS and different kinds of flus, everything coming out of there. We've got mass amounts of immigration, which, sure, immigration does help, but we don't need every fucking person from every other fucking country to come to our country. It's just, we can hardly support that. We got international trade problems. We have our own problems here at home. We've got, people talk about, oh, let's help these children, let's give them schooling, let's give them food and water. There's so many people here in my country, in my Canada, and the US, and Britain, everywhere. You can't just think that everything's fucking sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows, with fucking unicorns, shit, and butterflies. It's, it's not. There's a kid I know. He's anonymous. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you what his name is, but he is so poor he can't afford to have a shower more than twice a week. Now, all of you people, well, not all of you, some of you are probably, oh, that kid's poor. Keep fucking laughing. Like, we got problems here. And then you go and, oh yeah, let's help Kony, let's help Kony. Or help the movement, not Kony himself, obviously. No. There's kids starving here, there's kids freezing here, there's kids fucking homeless here, there's kids that are going thirsty, there's kids without fucking shelter, there's kids without a family, there's kids without a place to go, there's kids that can't even go to school here. Deal with our own fucking problems before we deal with another country's problems. I'm actually so tired of having to deal with other people's problems. I get that we're the West, I get that we're strong, I get that we are civilized, that we're technologically advanced, that we have more than so many other countries on Earth. That doesn't mean that we need to stoop down and pick them up and help them. I mean, like I said, I want to help people. Of course I want to help people. I just don't want to sacrifice my country and put my country in a bad spot for another country. It's just, like I said, deal with our own problems before we butt into another person's. Kony's just not something we need to get involved with. Because like I've said, he's just gonna get replaced by yet another fucking warlord who's just gonna be as bad or worse than Kony himself. It's how it is in Somalia. That's what happened when Adid, the warlord in charge when the Black Hawk Down incident occurred, died. His son, a ex-U.S. Marine, that's nice, became warlord. He's worse. He's fucking way worse. What's that mean? If Kony has a son, or a predecessor, or an apprentice, he's gonna be worse. He's gonna be way fucking worse because he needs to avenge the person, his master, or his father. He needs to live up to what his father did. Blow the minds of everybody else. Exceed beyond expectations. That's exactly what's gonna happen, and people don't realize this. Let Kony die of old age. Let it happen. Let him die in a firefight. Let somebody kill him. Let a Ugandan government official kill him. Let the UN intervene. Don't let our West intervene. We don't need to be in there. We don't need to fucking go to Africa again to fight another person's war. I'm tired of it. I don't want to hear that, PTE Adams or fucking Staff Sergeant Rogers died in the line of duty in a country that when we leave is just going to turn back into a fucking shithole. It's just a cesspool of disaster. That's Africa now. It's horrible. I completely agree that it's terrible. We don't need to get involved. We don't. I don't want to hear the names of our soldiers dying for something that's not even gonna last. Like the soldiers that died in Korea and in the trenches and on all fronts in World War II. They died for a fucking reason. They died for a very good reason. Going over there and dying for a country that's just gonna turn into the cesspool it was when we first came there, it's pointless and it's a waste. It's a fucking waste. More than half of you probably don't know a soldier personally. I know a lot of soldiers personally. I know that they're individuals. I know that they're all resilient young men and women. And I get that they have families and they have dreams and they do what they do because they love their world, they love their country, they love their flag, they love their fucking people. It's hard when you hear one of them dies. It's hard when you hear one of them gets hurt. It's hard because you know that this person is... They're fighting in a war that is more than likely somebody else's problem. Because when the rich wage war, the poor are the ones who die. And I get that. Just leave Kony. Just leave Kony to the United Nations or somebody else. Maybe a rival warlord who won't be as fucking brutal as this man. Who won't harm the civilians, but who will quell him, basically, like a rebellion. We can't always be the cowboys. We can't always be fucking Clint Eastwood, ride in with our 357s drawn and save the fucking day. We're not fucking Patton here. We're not fucking... We're not Superman. We can't do this. We're not... I can't say we're not. I can say, though, that I don't want to get involved there. And I can say that I will support the soldiers that get sent there, but I won't support the movement. I will never support the movement. I will never support an invasion of Uganda to rid the country of this warlord. Fuck, if you want to get rid of him so badly, how about you guys Go fucking put on a pair of boots, grab a uniform and a rifle, and go do it yourselves. This has been my debate. Debate away. Please like, comment, rate. Fuck, I don't know what you people are gonna do. Hate me. I don't give a shit. I don't know you. Anyways, um, have a good week, and my next video will be up on Sunday, maybe earlier. Bye.